Hi, I'm Wayne, I'm the Bicycle Bloke. Today I am buzzing because I'm about to take you for a ride through a place that is full of history, not only from a local perspective, but from a personal perspective, because this is my old stomping grounds. I've just got a train down to Wynnum railway station. It's an easy train trip, 50 cents from anywhere in South East Queensland, and I'm about to ride from Wynnum to Lota, which is a beautiful trip around the foreshore, and it's full of history and significance. So stick with me, have a great big drink of water, strap on your helmet, and let's go discovering. Just be aware that if you do a rail and ride adventure, you can get off at either Wynnum Station or Wynnum Central Station if you want to start at the northern end and go south, or you can get off at Lota Station. But at Wynnum Station, there is no lift, so you'll need to lug your bike up the stairs and over the footbridge. It's a bit of a task with my bike because it's a big, heavy steel bike designed for touring, not for carrying over stairs. But we made it, and it's closer to the northern end of where we're going to start. Just out of Wynnum railway station, on the pathway we're heading towards Elanora Street. When we get to Elanora Street, we're going to turn right and head down towards the Esplanade. It's very short and quite an easy ride down. I'm standing at the top of Crown Street, Wynnum, which just has the most spectacular views of Waterloo Bay. Waterloo Bay is part of Moreton Bay. At the moment we're looking out at St Helena Island, which used to be a penal colony. St Helena Island has a reputation of only ever having had one successful escape, and that was an Indigenous fellow called Ulip, who stole an axe at Dunwich and was sentenced to spend time at the penal colony. He wasn't there very long. He built himself a little craft and he paddled back to Stradbroke Island. This is the top of Prospect Street at Wynnum. The top of Prospect Street has a beautiful view of the bay as well, and it's also reported to be one of the steepest hills in Brisbane, which means I'm going to need both hands on my brakes. Let's go, I'm going to enjoy this ride. When you get to the bottom of Elanora Street and you hit the water, turn left and head north. That's keeping Australia on your left-hand side. That'll take you up to Elanora Park and the site of Mangrove Boardwalk, which is a well-known nature lover spot. People come here to do a bit of bird watching, a bit of relaxing, a bit of fishing. It's a great place. We're just riding into Elanora Park, which when I was a kid used to be a rubbish dump. I just can't imagine the environmental standards today allowing any rubbish dump to be created so close to mangroves. It's a beautiful spot, and fortunately it's been repurposed into public space and really a place people can enjoy. Downhill, I love downhill. This is a really significant area where I stand at the moment. It is the original home to the Quandamookan people who used it for fishing and hunting. It was quite abundant. After white settlement, it was repurposed as a rubbish dump, and fortunately in the 60s the rubbish dump was closed down and it's now been repurposed into this gorgeous environmental area. We're about to take a walk about 500 metres up to my left to the Jetty and Bird Hide. The Bird Hide is a great place to view a lot of the migratory birds on their Asian Pacific flight. And these include the eastern curlew, the bar-tailed godwits, what a great name, a godwit, And year round we can view egrets, herons and spoonbills, which can be seen feeding at low tide. I've just arrived at the bird hide and I'm very surprised at just how close this is to the port of Brisbane. Take a look at this. Just across there is the main arterial road into the port of Brisbane. Very, very busy. And the port is just a little way up there. I can't believe that something like this exists so close. Far removed from the peaceful surrounds you find here today at Elanora Park, it used to be used also as a rifle range. Just at the entrance to the Wynnum Mangrove Boardwalk is a plaque to the Honourable Tom Burns, and Tom Burns was the Deputy Premier for Queensland for quite some time. He was quite a lovable rogue and a very, very keen fisherman. He had a boat called the Electorate. People used to phone up his office and say, "Could I speak to Tom please?" And his staff would go, "Oh no, I'm sorry, he's out in the Electorate today." People thought that he was one of the hardest working politicians because he was always out in the Electorate, when in fact Tom was virtually always out fishing. Great yarn and little known fact of Wynnum's history. It's alright, it won't come that far. This is one beautiful young red-belly black snake, and we know it's young because when they're born, they're about 28 centimetres long. And yes, you heard me right, they are born. They're not hatched from eggs. They're one of the very few Australian snakes that their young is born. Despite being dangerously venomous, there's never been a recorded death from red-belly black snake bite. Just riding past what's left of the old Wynnum fish markets, and it's hard to believe now, but it used to house the second largest fishing fleet in Queensland and process many thousands of tonnes of fish annually. We're now off for a look at Wynnum Wading Pool. It's one of the iconic places in Wynnum. It was built in the 1930s. As Wynnum became more popular as a seaside resort, the engineers worked out a way to trap the tidal water and provide a very safe place for families to swim. As with anywhere you ride, always exercise extreme caution because of lapse of concentration here, and it's a long way down. I'm standing on Pandanus Beach. It's on the northern side of the Wynnum Jetty. It's a small man-made sandy section of beach which has been put here for locals and visitors to enjoy. Now, interestingly, the name Wynnum comes from the indigenous language for Pandanus tree. This is the Wynnum Wading Pool, built in the 1930s as a place for families to enjoy quite a safe and relaxed swim. This is the end of Wynnum Jetty, and it's a highly recommended place to come when you're doing your ride. From here you get a beautiful vantage point of all of the islands: Mud Island, St Helena, Green, King. You can see the sandhills of Moreton Island, and you can also see Stradbroke Island from here. It's a howling southeasterly wind today, and my advice would be that if you're going to do this ride, to check the winds before you come. If there's a predominant southerly or southeasterly wind, catch the train to Lota and let the wind push you to Wynnum. Wynnum and Manly have got a variety of fantastic restaurants and cafes to have lunch or dinner. I've just stopped for a great feed of fish and chips at Finn's Fish House, and I highly recommend it. So if you come to Wynnum, go to Finn's Fish House and tell them Bicycle Bloke sent you. You probably noticed the tide is coming in. One of the interesting things here is the tide goes out about 300 to 400 metres, and it's just all mud flats. Quite a few unsuspecting boaties come to grief because it's still fairly shallow, about 200 or 300 metres from shoreline. So at half tide, unfortunately, a few poor old boaties get stuck. This area is called Manly Point, and it's when you're heading south from Wynnum, it's where you get the first glimpse of Manly Boat Harbour. Look out for the little people. This is the William Gunn Jetty. Bill Gunn was a member of the Legislative Assembly from 1944 to 1966. He also served in the 2nd Light Horse Regiment in Gallipoli and Palestine from 1914 to 1917. He was revered by the locals as being an honest, no-nonsense type of bloke. Just riding past Manly Marina, which was commenced in 1964 when they started dredging the area and using the silt up here on the esplanade to reclaim a lot of the land. Manly Marina is now one of the largest marinas in the Southern Hemisphere, and it's a great jumping off point for all the Bay Islands. As a special bonus for Bicycle Bloke fans, I'm about to show you a little bit of the history of Wynnum Manly that not even some of the locals know about. The wall behind me is commonly called the Great Wall of Manly, and it's half a street from the Manly Marina. It was built during the Great Depression back in the 1930s. And I have a bit of personal history with this wall because my grandfather happened to be one of the workers on it, and he's put some pretty amazing plaster casts of animals and also a lady's head, and that's thought to be Queen Victoria. You do have to look pretty hard to find the figures that my grandfather put in this wall, but it's certainly worth it. Welcome to Lota, but before we go to Lota, we're going to duck in and have a look around the Royal Queensland Yacht Squadron. Just got caught in a heck of a shower. See some behind me coming over the bay. As is so often the case in beautiful Queensland, the rain has passed over, the wind has died down a bit, and the sun is shining, so we can finish the ride. Let's go. Lota got its name from Lota House, built for William Ducat White's wife and named after her Irish home. It's reported that William Ducat used to hide in the trees on the hill behind me and shoot at people who were robbing his oysters. I guess that's one way to deter them. When you come to Lota, Fig Tree Point is one of the places that gives you the best view of Wellington Point and King Island. And just below me here are a few rocks that kids just love scrambling over and enjoying themselves. Great place to visit. When you come to Lota, Fig Tree Point, it's a must. G'day. Lota Boat Ramp is one of those places where you don't launch your boat on an outgoing tide, and you really do need lots of local knowledge before you use it. Moran Street is a street that runs off the Esplanade, and at the bottom of it you'll find these great tracks. It's well worth seeking them out. Just got to watch this very narrow bridge. Back in the late 1800s, when William Ducat's day, Lota was known for its farming, sugarcane, poultry and many crops. It's since evolved into quite a beautiful little unknown treasure, and it still feels like it's pretty much a sleepy hollow that not too many people seem to know about. This is a Lota Boardwalk. Fantastic idea. Top of Lota Creek. It's very narrow. Well, I hope you've enjoyed tagging along today as much as I've enjoyed pedalling the route from Wynnum to Lota. It's been great to dig up a few stories about the local pollies and also my family history. The pathway here over Lota Creek finishes at Bayside Parklands at the bottom of Chelsea Road. Great place to visit. You can't ride your bike, so chain it up, go for a walk. But until next time, next Saturday, 3 o'clock, next video, you know what I'm going to say. Get off your bum, get on your bike, because life is so much better on two wheels. See you later. Whoops. Around this side, mate. There you go. Where am I? Let's go for a wander up to the many years ago. Significant. The early original settlers called this Black's Camp. Probably can't put that in. If I was going to be called something, what are you? Quandamukin. Who were the original inhabitants. This is a really significant area that this is a really significant. I've just arrived at the bird hide, and I'm 5,000 resident shorebirds. Well, come back. Great yarn about Wynnum's history is about at the entrance to the Wynnum Mangrove Boardwalk, as Tom owned a boat called, who was the Deputy Premier, Tom Burns. Oh, what was that? Whew. Thought you'd fallen over. Very, very keen fishermen. So people would ring up and say, can I speak to Tom? And staff would say, no, I'm sorry, he's out in the electorate. It comes from Pandanus. Man, I'm standing on, where am I standing? Of masts. So, don't keep saying so. To hide in the trees up on, I'd highly recommend that. I can get a very good picture of great vantage point of Wellington Point. Vantage point of Wellington Point. The place. This is it. This is the one.